What is going on, everyone? James there, Bass Layers, out in the backyard today. Just going to do a quick little video on the pre-spawn and the spawn. So yes, let's get into this real quick. So a couple baits that work really well during the spawn and will pull fish out a lot. Something like this, mat lures. Then you got the Savage Gear, the old school style Savage Gear 3-piece. These things pull fish out, man. I've been on spots where there's beds and you pitch these out on the bed. There's no fish on the bed. You pitch these guys out there, next thing you know, it will draw fish in. You can throw these around the cover and stuff and it will pull fish out of the cover this time of year. The fish are going to be moving up and they're going to be getting way up in the sides in the cover. The last spot that I went and fished, it was a pretty big spot, and there was a lot of fish that were pushed way up into the cover. And what they're doing up in there this time of the year, because it's been really cold and we've been having a lot of rain, typically it's not this cold, they're pulling way up in and they're wanting to sit up on the beds, but it gets cold, so instead of pulling out and going way back out in the water, they pull up into the shallows and they pull up into the reeds and stuff. So what I've been doing to try to target those fish, so we use a jig, ball head jig, Yamamoto twin tail grub. I put rattles on them. Doesn't matter this time of year, clear water, muddy water. You want something you can see and the fish can see really good. It's all about making them pissed off this time of year and getting them to attack what you are offering them. Also use Senkos and stuff like that if you want to pitch into the sides. There's creature baits pitching into the sides. Pretty good if you're not bed fishing now. Another thing that I do is I use bright orange and red colors. This is one of the hand painted baits that I did a long time ago. Another one that I hand painted. I would get these at the store, buy them online, and repaint them these colors. These things catch a lot of fish this time of year. The red colors, I found the red bright colors like that work really good when the water is muddy and it's stained. This guy right here I have on all the time. I have caught most of my fish this year on that bait right there. And another presentation, I caught a couple really good ones already this year on my handmade mini kick turn. This bait's weighted to go down and sink kind of a quick rate. That way you can throw it out in front of the fish and let it sink down and work it right in front of them. This is kind of what Tactical Bassin would consider as what they say is like a cover glide. It's more of a choppy little glide. I can toss that thing up in the cover and work it around in through the cover. If I want it to sink down into spots, I can sink it down and work it a little bit. I've caught some pretty good fish doing that this year. The other way that I catch them on that bait is you just throw it out there, let it sink a little bit, and just burn that thing back as fast as you can. It's just like a lipless crankbait, and what they want to do, they're like dogs. Bass will chase stuff down and they will get it. You cannot humanly retrieve a bait faster than a bass can swim. They will catch your bait no matter what. You can have like a 9-gear ratio reel and they will still catch it. If you guys watch Tactical Bassin at all, go watch Tactical Bassin's videos. If you don't, please go watch their stuff. They have some underwater footage of bass that is just amazing. I mean, my bluegill in this tank right here, they are pretty quick, but those big bass, they are so fast. It's mind-blowing how fast they will move to go get a bait. I was fishing crystal clear water the other day, and some of the fish that chased down my stuff, they were so quick, man. I had a big giant follower follow this bait in, and I think because it was crystal clear water, that fish came up, looked right at me, and it just turned off. And it was also because it was cold. Maybe that fish would have committed a little bit more if it had been a little bit warmer. So as it starts warming up a little bit more, those choppy baits like that will work good. And another bait that my buddy Greg was really catching them on last year is a simple little one-piece gill bait that I make. You can walk these on top and they'll basically do complete 180s, but like turn back on itself. And you can almost walk it in place. And then when you swim it, it's just got a wobble to it like this. Caught a lot of fish on the wobble and walking it right over the beds. Once the fish get really worked up, you can start using like frogs and poppers, anything that's like loud over the beds, and you can get them that way. Another presentation is if the water gets a little clear and they're not going to eat the orange, you can go to something that's like a bait fishy color, something flashy. This one's got like a small knocker in it. It's an old Norman. And of course you got your rattle traps, lipless, really loud. You can run these, you can throw them out there and burn them as fast as you can. We use the Lew's reels with the 7 gear ratio on them. And we've caught some really big fish on this bait. My buddy Richard caught a 9 on this bait. And I've caught a couple of real big ones. You can throw them out and burn them. You can yo-yo them, where you throw it out, you let it sink, and you just lift up and then reel in. Lift up and reel in. And this bait's going down and then coming up and then falling. Coming up and falling. In the fall time, that's when you do that, when the shad are dying. But in the springtime, when the fish start chasing stuff, full speed ahead. I say full speed ahead, and that's with all of these baits. This time of year, I've been watching big bass chase down bluegill for the last couple weeks in the spots I've been fishing, excuse me. And it's pretty fun to watch it. Like, the bass will also chase each other around. So you see those like giant bass colored lures, and people will go, oh, nothing will eat that. You know, those things are way too big. It's not about them eating it. That's what people get mistaken about some of these baits, especially like my giant baits that I make. People think that the fish is going to try to eat it. They're just trying to attack it and kill it or get it out of their area. That's all they're doing. So I see the bass come in on stuff like this. You throw one of these mat lure gills out there and you're going to get smashed. I caught an 8-pounder on this bait, and I lost one that was probably 8 pounds last year. I slipped in the mud on my putt and lost the fish. But anyways, another presentation that got them for me. Oh, where'd I put this? Another presentation that got them for me the other day. I was throwing the jig out. Big ball head jig. You can get these, I believe these are the Do It mold jigs. And I just buy all the stuff and I put them together. The big jig was too much for them the other day. It was really cold. And when I'd throw this out on the bed, they didn't want nothing to do with it and they'd spook off. So I went to a drop shot. Missile baits. Bomb shots. If you had not tossed these on a drop shot, let me grab the hooks real quick. I forget exactly what hooks these are. I should have looked it up, but I got the Tactical Bassin drop shot hooks, and telling you, man, these bomb shots, missile bait bomb shots, if the fish are finicky and they're not wanting to commit to something big, I go to these, man. These things catch them. They just, I don't know what it is about these baits. They catch them, man. The colors, that little flat tail, as Tactical Bassin was saying, those things just catch them, man. Just put them on a drop shot, throw them down there, get it right on the bed, and just shake it in place. I use a, I don't have my pole out here. I use a really big, giant, I forget the weight, but it's a giant drop shot weight, like super big, something you use for like catfishing, and it keeps the bait there. It's not going to want to drift out of the spot, and you can lift it up and drop it, and it's really fast on the action, and it snaps hella fast. Something about that bait popping and snapping up and down like that in front of them. I've got some big fish to commit to that on beds if you're bed fishing. Also, just tossing it out there, put it on a normal drop shot stuff, man, if they're just cruising around, you can get them on that. So anyways, just a little couple things that I do for bed fishing this time of year. Other big critical thing is your glasses. I'm telling you right now, man, I just bought these Tactical Bassin glasses. They're the eye surrender glasses. telling you right now. Take them off and you can't see anything. There's ripple on the water. You got the clouds out and it puts a overcast on the glare of the water, so you can't see down in there. When you put these glasses on, you're Superman. You got x-ray vision, man. You can see down where nobody else can see, and you can see all the fish down there. So anyways, put these glasses on, you'll be able to see everything. And yeah, so anyways, Urban Bass Layers, just a little video on what I use this time of year to catch biggest fish on the beds. Like I said, if you see beds and there's no fish on them, do not be afraid to throw something like this on the bed, and you'll see those fish come from 10 or 15 feet away, and you won't even know they're there. They're in the grass or in the bush that's right there by it, and they will come out just to see what this is. And if they don't want to commit to this, that's when you switch out to the small drop shot. Get them. So I went to a spot the other day, like I said, pitching a whole bunch on the jig, and they were just spooking off. I switched to the drop shot and I caught like 7 or 8 fish within like an hour. So get out there. This weather has been crappy this year. Yeah, I'm not the only one to say it. So the clouds, the cold, it wasn't like this last year, but I will say this, at least we have rain and our pond spots are not drying up this year and all the fish are not dying. So all the spots that we put fish back into, oops, was I supposed to say that? They're doing good now. So I see people out there catching fish all the time. That's what it's about, man. It's therapy for everybody. Life's crazy, man. Get out there and go fishing while you can. This is the best time of the year for new anglers, like I say, to go catch a fish. Clear water. There's so many pond spots around Sacramento that got clear water and they got paths that you can walk around and all that stuff, and you can see the fish. Just get your glasses. If you got the glasses and a hat and stuff and block the sun out, you'll be able to see those fish down in there. You'll be able to catch the biggest fish of your life this time of the year right now. I've caught most of my big fish this time of the year. And don't forget night fishing this time of year. The big fish are out there. Oh, I wanted to bring this up also. The male fish are going to pull in first, and they're going to occupy the beds. They're going to come in and do their thing. The females may come up a little bit, and they're going to inspect where they want to look up to see, especially in the small pond spots. This is mainly for ponds around Sacramento. The big fish are still going to be out in the middle, and they're going to be eating anything and everything they can find. Big stuff, really big stuff like this. So don't be afraid to go out in the middle and chuck your big baits. You may not get a lot of bites, but when you do get one bite, it's going to be the biggest fish of your life, I guarantee it. Anyways, Urban Bass Layers, love you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and get out there and go fishing. Get off your couch. Thanks for watching.